Intertwine Collective is an ecosystem connecting food, fibres and communities. We're a research and education platform committed to reducing fossil fuel dependency by promoting regenerative fibre practices.
A lot of people don't know how to help. So then it takes, community and empowerment to let people know. So what I want people to do from different parts of the world to help this is to be able to understand and take the step of consciously consuming responsible consumption, where you have to desist from fast fashion. We have to be influencers in our own space, which is pushing the story out there, letting people know the repercussions of this textile waste environmentally, and how it goes a long way of affecting people in the global north. Because the idea or the perception is that if the waste is not your country, then you're not gonna you don't care about it. But it doesn't work that way. We live in an entire global ecosystem on a circular surface where things go around. So then definitely you have the effect, if not immediately, later on have the effect. That's why we have climate change and all of these things happening rampantly. It's because of different actions from different parts of the world coming together.
Because, to be true, in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s and even in the 60s, linen was used very commonly for tea towels, for bedding, for clothing. That always has been a noble fiber. Yeah. But with the rise of man-made fibers, which were very cheap and abundantly available, it was under pressure. And since in the UK it was a small crop, such to say, they haven't invested anymore and they stopped growing it. Since it was like a heritage crop for Belgium and France, there always have been a small scale or a small number of farmers continuing to do it, and it has transformed into a niche market. But upon today, 2019, we see that niche market is becoming more and more important, and people are getting more and more interested into it because of its sustainable nature. And we see that we here in Belgium and France can easily switch to more production. But in the UK, for example, there is no more know-how and there are no more machines. Therefore, the farmers just don't grow it anymore. It's something which needs to be taught or taught from generation to generation, and it requires very specific machines. And over here and in France, there are many farmers who share one machine with 5 or 6 farms because it's so specific, and you can only use it 2 weeks in a year. But these machines are not available in the UK.
It's hard to sell because people are not really interested in a sustainable material like wool. I mean, what they should be, shouldn't they?
So the buyers say what they want, basically. So we make the grades to what they want to buy and they want to blend it. So that's what our job is. And so each grade is a different price. So the farmer could get some good money or he could get low money. It depends where the wool goes. But we don't necessarily we grade to what types, not always to breed.
What happened in the monastery times, they bred the fleece. You didn't kill the animal to take the fleece off. It was just a shave job, as it were. You had that fleece to spin or to felt or to make rugs, depending on the fibre quality, because in one fleece, even one of our Romneys, you've got 7 different qualities of fibre quality, because we're just eradicating the whole thing and disrespecting the whole process completely, because the farmers do look after those that do, really do love their animals, and they're not living off of it. They're about to collapse. This is really serious, and they really will collapse unless we back them up and start to push forward with something. We've got to build this and build it in your lifetime. All the mechanics of doing it, up in Bradford, up in Leeds. You've got it down in the West Country because it rains, as we know today, in the West Country more and over the Pennines. So all of those areas are processing units and always have been. And it's serious that if we don't actually hold this together and talk to our communities, to our local farmers, and actually help them.
I think that's the way forward. I suppose it's about raising awareness so people are actually questioning looking at those labels. But I think it's those fabrics that are cheap and the waste really. But I think the problem is so much bigger, and yes, we are talking about education, government policy. How else? Consumer led. You know, maybe that's how you make change, but it needs to be, I think it needs to be government policy.